Hey guys, Mr. Kaz here, back for part 3 of my tutorials on the Adobe Spark suite of tools. Today we're going to focus on Adobe Spark Posts, which is going to let you create social media posts. Also tons of other things that you can have your students do to create content with this. So let's go first to create. And unlike the other two videos where we learned about video and page, we're going to do post now. And as you can see here, you can create social posts and graphics. Great for memes, inspirational quotes, announcements, and invitations, and pretty much whatever you can think to have your students do. For the purposes of this demo, I want to create a fake presidential election poster for George Washington. So let's go George Washington, 1789, his first election. He'll fight for you. And obviously you want to have your students come up with their own themes if they're doing something like this. And so what you're going to see here is a background that they've given us. You can see how the text looks here. You can choose the themes. This will just change not the background, but it will change what the text looks like. And you can see here the quotes look differently. This one looks pretty good. Let's stick with this one. Okay. Now for the picture, you can replace this. So once again, you can find photos here that are fair use. You can use Creative Cloud, Lightroom, Dropbox, Google Photos, or you could upload photos from your computer. For the purposes of this, I found a good photo that I think would be good for this post, and I'm going to use it. So I'm going to go to my downloads, and let's see here. I have one of Washington crossing the Delaware. And there we go. Now we can move this around if we like. And we're going to be able to do a couple other things to edit it. Let's go back to theme. We can change it here, where it's kind of like a speech bubble. We can darken it. And you notice how the background kind of darkens with the text? That's one of the great things about the Adobe suite, is that it automatically either resizes your text or darkens or lightens your text to match the background. You can see this one's a little bit more clear. This one, it's really, really great how this automatically does it. It does the work of graphic artists for you. And then you can even customize it even more. So when you're talking about your palette, that's going to be your color design. So you can see here we have like a greenish tint in the font that matches it. Here we have more of a reddish tint. And this allows you to be a little bit more creative than both Adobe Spark Video and Adobe Spark Page. Obviously, you can see here you have tons and tons of ideas for different color palettes to use. Let's stick with this one for now. Finally, the photo. Okay, so you can filter the photo how you'd like. You can make it, if it's like a negative campaign photo or a poster, maybe you want to keep it like that color. So tons of options. You can do black and white. Let's go with none for this one. You can modify the photo by scaling it and zooming in. You could rotate it if you want. It's really up to you as the designer or your students as the designer. Finally, the text. So you can see here this little circle thing. You're probably asking yourself, what is that? That's going to do automatic fonts that's going to match with your photo. So you can see here as we're moving around, we have a couple different options that look really cool. Or you could try, and these are just style suggestions. Let's say we'll stick with that one for now. We can go to shape, and so we can see, we can put this text in a bunch of different shapes. You can see there what it's going to look like. Tons of options here. You can do social media style if you're doing like a Facebook post. Okay, there's Twitter, Instagram, or Pinterest, or you can just keep it like that. Let's save that one. You can change color. So like we said before, you can change the color palette of the text. That one looks pretty nice. Let's stick with this one for now. We'll save that. You can add more text if you'd like. You can change the font if you'd like. There we go. You have well, not tons, but you have quite a few different fonts that you can use. Let's save that. You can change the spacing to make it double spaced or single spaced. You can align it left, right, or center. And you could change the opacity of it to make it a little bit more see-through. So there you have it. I mean, that's really all that you can do. Unlike Adobe Spark Video and Adobe Spark Page. You're going to have more options with this, but it's only a single page. Okay, just to go back to resizing, because we haven't looked at that yet, you can change it into a Facebook post, and it will size it so it matches and it fits in exactly with that. If you have a class Twitter account, you might want to have students create it and share it on Twitter, and it's going to create a perfectly sized Twitter post. You have a couple other options: Facebook ad, blog post, your Facebook cover, your Twitter header. There's tons of options here. It's really easy. It's really useful. It's pretty. And so I think it's an easy way for your students to show their learning in a visual manner. You can also shrink it like that. If just you're messing around with it, you can move it around like I said before. So there's tons of options with this. It's very dynamic.